Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon Associates and AdSense business for sale in the general niche. Created in September of 2014, this business makes $17,511 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this site is 41029. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Mark. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well, thank you.
Where are you joining us from today?
Well, from home.
Awesome. Well, I hope you're having a great day. Before we get into covering, going through our questions and such and getting to know you, I just want to give a quick rundown of the business again. It was built in September of 2014, has a monthly revenue of $17,362, expenses of $149 to make for a net profit of $17,511, and this is built on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the domain, site content, and Facebook account. Mark, can you give us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Well, I've never owned or operated an online business before this one. All of my previous businesses have been brick and mortar, retail, and services. I was looking for a new business, and I almost bought a pizza franchise with 3 locations. I'd also been looking at online businesses, found this site for sale, and bought it right away. What a difference. No rent, no employees, no workers' comp, no inventory, no credit card processing fees, not even having to deal directly with customers. I can work from anywhere on the planet, wherever there's internet access. And I can go to sleep at night and wake up with a bunch of items already ordered and commissions already earned. Sales keep happening even when I'm golfing, at dinner, or at a barbecue with friends.
How did you come up with the idea to start this business?
Well, I didn't start it, I bought it.
And where did you hear about the business? Where did you see that it was for sale?
On Empire Flippers.
And how long ago did you purchase the business?
About a year ago.
So Mark, how does this site primarily make money?
It earns commissions for sales made on Amazon by people who got to Amazon by clicking from my site.
So why were you looking at businesses in this niche?
Well, I wasn't looking in this niche. I saw this business and this niche chose me. The more I learned about these online businesses, the more I learned about this type of affiliate and AdSense business, the more I liked it, and so I bought it.
So if you're going along with this business and you're liking the Amazon affiliate model, why are you selling the business instead of keeping and growing it yourself?
Well, that's a good question. I've started, bought, and sold many businesses over the years. It's what I do. This site made a lot of money over the year I owned it, and now I can sell it for a profit. I do the same thing with my houses. I buy them, fix them up if needed, live in them for 2 or 3 years, and then sell them, and then do it again. Selling stuff is how I make money, and selling businesses that sell stuff is also how I make money.
So what's your plan for after the sale? Do you have any ideas for the money?
Well, I don't have a plan. The fact is I'm not a young man, and I certainly can't live on my Social Security check. I like owning and building businesses. The income's great, and it's like a hobby. I don't want to spend my day sitting around the senior center listening to a bunch of old people talk about their health problems. The sales agreement will guarantee that I won't compete with the buyer, but I'll do something else somewhere.
So, Mark, the business was built in September of 2014, and you purchased it last year, like you said. We'll get to how it's performed after you bought it in a minute, but do you know the trajectory of the business for the first few months after the business was built?
After the business was built by the original seller to me, its trajectory was very strong. The first few months was slow as he was loading up new content and getting some rankings, and then it really took off, and then he sold it. And for me, it's been continuing to grow, and you can see the numbers on the Empire Flipper listing that the second half of the year is very strong, and the site had a great November and December sales.
Is there anything that you've learned from running this business that you'll apply to future sites or businesses that you either start yourself or buy?
Well, I can tell you what didn't work. When I purchased the site, the previous owner had AdSense ads on it, and it was doing about $50 a day in AdSense revenue. I was concerned about sending users off the site, especially over the holidays. So last November, I removed all of the AdSense ads. By December, I really started missing that extra $1,500, so I put two of the ads back on, but revenue got stuck at about $20 a day. Close to the end of July, that's last month, I added the third ad back onto the site. That did increase revenue, but not back to the $50 a day the site was doing before I removed the ads. I think the ads need some experiment with placement. Sorry I ever touched the AdSense ads at all. There's definitely an opportunity for the buyer to fix the AdSense and make some fast money. Also, never done anything with Facebook, or done anything with those following the site. It makes sense to send information to followers about new product reviews, new information, educational information that will bring them back to the site more often, and they'll probably share that information with new friends. So that's another opportunity for a buyer.
So you mentioned that you haven't done much with Facebook or social media. So where is your traffic coming from? Do you know? Is it organic, referral?
I do know. From my analytics, it says that the traffic is very good, strong, and stable. Almost 200,000 users a month. That's over 6,000 a day. There's no paid traffic. It's all organic. Social is very small because I'm not doing anything social on Facebook or anywhere else, maybe 5 to 20 users a day. The site does have a Facebook page, but I've never done any Facebook or social marketing or interacting with any of the people that follow the Facebook page. Referral is about 35 to 40 a day, but direct is interesting because direct is usually around 500 users a day, which is really great because it shows that many people use the site and trust the site for reviews and to read interesting articles.
So how stable are the earnings?
Well, the earnings are posted on the Empire Flipper listing, and they're stable and growing. One important note about July 2017. I made an unnecessary change to the Amazon Web Services account that's used by a plugin on the site. Without knowing it, I knocked out that plugin, which knocked out all international site sales for 6 or 7 days. And I didn't find out until the US site went down. And it was down for over 24 hours until I figured out that there was nothing wrong with the site and that the problem was with the plugin. I called Amazon Web Services and they had me back up in about half an hour. The point is there was a lot of money lost that would have made the excellent month of July even better.
How much content is on the site? And if there is content, how much of it needs to be added weekly or monthly?
The site currently has about 319 posts. I'm not aware of a rule of how much needs to be added monthly, but it stands to reason that the more new and fresh content that is added, the more keywords the site will probably rank for, and the more traffic should come to the site. The more traffic to the site, the more people will click to Amazon and probably buy something.
So I believe you said, was it 319 posts? That 319 posts, is that written since you've taken over? Has it been being written by you or have you been outsourcing it?
Reviews don't take long to write, maybe a couple of hours, and the new owner should write some reviews to understand the work. Now, I've written some myself and I do hire writers. I give them the topic, I review their work to make sure it reads well and make changes if necessary. Then I put the review on the site. Now I have a plugin that makes it fast and easy instead of using Amazon's links and images. The fact is, though, I spend a lot more time watching sales come in throughout the day than I do posting reviews.
And so the writers that you do hire, would you be able to provide those contacts to a buyer?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so Mark, if you were going to keep the business and you wanted the least risky path to growth, what would you focus on?
Build a brand of trustworthy reviews and articles so people come to the site to review articles before they even begin searching Google or Amazon. Use social media so people can see the name and articles in their Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, and use that to drive more traffic to the site. There's also an opportunity to review and make commissions for products that are not sold on Amazon. There are other retailers and service providers that have affiliated programs, from Walmart to web hosting companies to credit card providers and many more. I do see other affiliate sites that refer users to different sellers for different products and services, even on the same page. Some links go to Amazon, some links go to Walmart, some go somewhere else. I assume they refer users to the companies that pay the highest commissions, or maybe for popular products that are not available on Amazon.
Is there anything that you could do that would be incredibly risky, but could possibly have really, really quick growth?
Jake, I'm a low-risk businessman. For me, it's always been run a quality business and avoid unnecessary trouble. This site's done great for me. It's a real business. Looking for problems is something that I don't do. I suggest add more quality content, become an authority site, be trusted by users in Google. That's my only advice.
So, what are some of the big risks associated with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
I don't know. It's an affiliate site that refers people to Amazon to buy stuff. Amazon is not running out of products to sell, and now they're adding new businesses and services, which I expect we'll be able to review and receive commissions for. So I don't know what the risks would be.
So, Mark, can you go ahead and describe the amount of work that you do on the site for maintenance, week to week, and the type of work?
Well, I covered that when you asked about the writer, and that's most of the work is involved in either writing reviews or hiring people to write reviews. Hiring people is easy. If somebody's considering this business who's never done that before, there are several freelancer type sites out there with people who mostly supplement their income or create a side income, or maybe this is their only income. So they're looking for work. So I put out an ad, I get a lot of good response. I give them a topic, I make sure it reads well and make changes if necessary, and then I put the review on the site. As I said, putting the review up there is easy. It just takes a few minutes, maybe a half an hour, maybe a few minutes longer, and there's really not much more maintenance to do than that. Just keep adding content. That's what everybody tells me. Keep adding content to the site.
Are there any special skills or requirements for someone who's unfamiliar with this niche to get into the niche?
Not that I know of. I had no experience with WordPress prior to buying the site. I intended to take a WordPress course, but never got around to it. I think it's a good idea to learn WordPress from a professional course, but WordPress is very intuitive and easy to use, and I'll be working with the buyer to explain what I've been doing and what they need to do. So the skills are very simple and straightforward.
So just a couple last questions about the business, and then we'll get into some last minute questions about the sale. But I know that this is an Amazon Associates and AdSense business. What countries is the business in?
Well, I've listed the business to be able to sell in all of the possible countries that Amazon would let the site to be sold in. That's the US, UK, Canada, Italy, France, Germany, Spain, and recently I'm working with them in India to try to become a seller there. I think that's all of those.
So it sounds like there's a lot of opportunity for growth, and not only in the US for this business.
There is.
Mark, if you look on the listing on Empire Flippers, it says something about the previous owner disavowing PBN links. Can you just take a minute and just detail that slightly?
Sure. There was an update that came out called Fred, which got me concerned about learning about the other Google updates and penalties, and I learned that those were called Penguin and Panda. So I started spending some time learning about the three of those and tried to make sure that we weren't affected by the site. I knew we weren't because nothing was changing. Rankings were stable, sales were stable, but I wanted to make sure that there was nothing coming. So I spent some time learning about them and learning about possible bad links coming to the site and the possibility of bad links. I didn't know if there were any. Anyway, I went through and I learned about the Google disavow file so that it would give a list of all of the links coming to the site. And so I created a list of offshore links coming to the site, figuring there's no reason for somebody in a foreign country to be linking to this site. And then in doing that, when I went to file that file or post that file with Google, it looked like a file had already been posted, a disavow file had already been posted, and that would have been from my seller. And what was on there, my recollection is that it was site-wide links coming from some websites that he has. Site-wide being that the link is on all of the pages, like in a footer that's on every page. But it seems like he had already disavowed that, but I went ahead and added it to my disavow file anyway, and so I don't think there's anything there anymore.
So it seems like the previous owner took care of it already. You were just being prudent.
Yeah, he took care. That's what it seemed to me, is that he took care of everything that might have been coming from any of his sites. And then on top of that, I added sites that looked like they were coming from outside the U.S. that had no reason to be coming here. So by getting rid of all of those, I figured I would be getting rid of anything that might be trouble. It was a risk because they could be good quality links, but what's the point of somebody in a foreign country, Germany, for example, linking to the site, linking to an English site, in a different language? It just didn't make sense. So I just took them all off.
Yeah, it makes sense. You were just being safe, and realistically, it's probably for the better. So thank you, Mark. We're almost done here, but before I let you go, just a couple last minute questions. I believe you mentioned this already earlier, but I just want to clarify. Would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes.
And earlier you said that you would talk with the buyer and help them and show them everything you're doing with the WordPress site and everything, but how much support exactly are you willing to offer buyers?
Well, I want the buyer to be successful. I will train them, but frankly, there's not a lot to this business. I'll be available a lot at the beginning to help them make the transition, to understand what they need to do, and even later to help them if they have questions that come up, to help them as much as I can. But listen, I've sold brick and mortar businesses over the years, and I remember one buyer called me about 5 years after the sale because he was having a problem with the landlord and the lease renewal. I called the landlord, with whom I'd had a very good relationship, and we worked out the problem and everything was settled down. So even 5 years after, I was available to try to help out that buyer.
Awesome. I'm sure that will make any prospective buyers feel better about taking on this business, knowing that you'll be able to talk with them and help them out. So, Mark, obviously, the best case scenario is that someone comes along and gives us 100% cash offer of what we're looking for. But if that didn't happen, would you be open to something like, maybe 70% up front, 30% on closing? Would you be open to that conversation?
Well, 70% up front and 30% on closing is a cash deal. But if you're talking about an earnout, I don't think so, but you never know. My experience is that it's better to have sellers sell and go away and let the buyer run his new business their way. A seller can't do that if their income still depends on the way the business is being run by the buyer. So I bought the business for cash, and I think that's the best way for a business like this, of this type, to be transferred. But you never know.
Yeah, that makes sense. So before I let you go, I have one more question for you. But before that, I just want to re-go over the quick summary of the business. So the business was built in September of 2014, has a monthly revenue of $17,362, expenses of $149, and a net profit of $17,511, which was built on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the domain, site content, and Facebook account. Mark, thank you so much for coming on here today. I really appreciate you taking the time. Before I let you go, what is your best 30-second pitch on why someone should purchase this business?
This Amazon affiliate site is a proven winner. This business is very hands-off, easy to run, and can be run from anywhere. Except for web hosting, there's practically no overhead expenses required. The products it reviews are well diversified, so the site is not dependent on a single product or niche or season. It reviews many products that both men and women use all year long, as well as taking advantage of seasonal activities, back to school, and many of the holidays throughout the year. It was not affected by Google's Panda, Penguin, or Fred updates, and every year more sales are done online and more sales are done on Amazon. I see no reason why this business cannot continue to grow and be a great addition to an existing portfolio or the first property for a new entrepreneur who wants to build a business with many more sites.
Thank you so much, Mark, for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
If you're watching this on YouTube and want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing site and want more information, become a depositor today. All you have to do is click the button, Make a Refundable Deposit, and you will be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.